Okay, so according to Poppy, I need to tell myself that I'm recording myself. So, as you guys can see, I've told myself that I'm recording myself. Okay, so this is obviously a continuation of the previous one. It is a continuation of question 4. I'm going to do question 4 today. I'm going to do question 5 later, and then do question 6 and 7 as I get time to complete it for you guys. Okay, so obviously we are still busy with question paper 2022. So when it comes to these ones, we get a case study and we read through it quickly. So we aim to be South Africa's most affordable, accessible, innovative retailer. We aim to do this in a responsible way for communities. Okay, they're the foundation of our business. They are our customers. So they're talking about a whole lot of stakeholders. And they ask us to define the sustainability as mentioned in the thing. So we know sustainability. I'm just going to see if it types there. I'm going to type it in capital so you can all see it very easily. Refers to business. So they're talking there about being so we all know sustainability obviously refers to a business doing things in an ethical which benefits only, but also communities and environments around them. Forms of the triple so we all know the 3 P's. I'm not going to write them all out now. Okay. But we know that when we talk about how to do in an ethical as a marker, if they see that ethical way, which benefits, okay, and not only the business, but also the communities and environment around them, this forms part of the triple bottom line. Okay, meaning that they're not only looking after profit, but also that they're looking after the environment. So obviously, how deep you take it is up to you. But if I were you, do not spend half an hour trying to think of a perfect answer. Okay, talk about what you know quickly, get your mark, get out. Okay. So the next one says list 4 things of corporate governance. What is corporate governance? Okay. So 4 principles. As one as we know, it's all about ethical control. It's all about ethics. Okay, a big part of corporate governance is about ethics, about King Code. So we know it's about. So it's all about ethical control. Another thing is, and we all know that it's all about transparency. And what goes along with transparency is being responsible. And as we said earlier, what is the thing? If you've got to be responsible, but if you are taken wrong, and what a lot of businesses forget is if they were wrong, what do they have to take? They have to take. You can also say something, for example, misgovernance. Okay, these are all things you study when you do King Code, but guys, accountability, transparency, and accountability. I see now I forgot to share my screen, but I'm going to share it with you. Okay, so I hope this makes a bit more sense now. My apologies, I completely forgot to share the screen. Okay, but as I said, so whenever it comes to, there's a little source I was talking about. Okay, so whenever you talk about it, okay. Let's see if I can delete these lines. Okay, now you can see it at least there. So remember, whenever you talk about sustainability, the reason we talk about sustainability is the 3 Ps. Okay, that you have ethical culture, that you're growing the business, and that the business is running itself in a way that it's not just about profit. Okay, and as I said, what are the 4 principles of good governance that they could have? It is things like ethical culture. It is things like transparency. It's about Responsibility. Okay, it's about risk governance. It's about being accountable. Okay, don't overthink these questions. Just ask yourself, if we were going to be doing good corporate governance, what would we need to do? Yeah. Okay, obviously for the next video, I will quickly delete these things before I start, but I'm not just going to do it quickly. Okay. So, name 3 elements of the total bottom line reporting that should form part of the sustainability index. Okay, so what are the 3 elements? Okay, so we know it's easy as 3 quick marks. So it is people, planet, and profit. So again, don't overthink it. Don't think, yeah, it's not 600 quickly. Just make 100% sure that this is what they're looking for. Not saying what I'm missing. Right, so there you got it again. Independence, transparency, accountability, discipline, social responsibility, fairness, responsibility that we had as well. Okay, so all of these we've spoken about. You can also do independence, you can do social. Oh, if you want to, any other principles is remember your leadership, so planning, organizing, leading, controlling. They also accept these as answers. Okay, so no, I was right. Okay, I thought they were trying to trick us. Okay, but you've got people, planets, and profit. You don't have to say environmental, social. Okay. I'll put the sharing on now again. Okay. Discuss the demands. So this is a very interesting concept that each of the stakeholders below would place on shop-rolled handouts. Suggest how they could deliver on these demands. Okay, so let's see. That is how many marks each. So it's 12, so it's 4 marks each because it's 3. So what are the demands of a supplier? Okay, so a supplier, think about it. If you're a supplier, what are you going to demand? Who's quickly deleting it? That's good. So suppliers, okay, so let's before we even write. Well, what if you're a supplier? So they give you goods, but what are they going to demand in return? They want to get paid. Well, to provide it, so they want a fair one, and so one thing is they'll be performed one to have a fair price, and they expect to be paid on time. They remember they may be expected to be uh, they were asked to be given clear and specific instructions. Remember, a supplier is never going to be happy if they just say, oh, I want 50 products. When do you want them? How do you want them? Do they need a specific color, whatever? So they want to be given clear specifications of the products. Yeah, so they want adequate time to provide them. Okay, you might have 2 or 3 marks already, but remember the second part of the question said what? Suggest how they could deliver on these demands. So, ShopRite must ensure that who does it? Is that their procurement agent is in constant contact with the suppliers through either meetings or emails, and that therefore communication is as clear as possible. So that's the one problem. The second one, finance should also have systems in place to pay buyers in a timely manner. Okay. So they can do it either way. Yeah. So obviously suppliers will always demand to be paid a fair amount, and they will be expect to at least be given the right amount at the time that they want it. They also want clear communication. Remember, the worst thing you can have as a supplier is not knowing what is expected of you. Okay, so do you guys see? Not a lot, but it'll get me to 4 marks. So I can get to one mark for fair amount for the price, 1 mark to be paid on time, 1 mark to be clear specifications. Okay, 1 mark for ensuring that the communication is constant in contact. Yes, in constant communication, not just in, please forgive me the spelling. Okay, yeah. Now the next question is, what can employees demand of us as a business? Okay, so employees can demand. Okay, so please bear with me with the teething issue. I'm just going to type it here. You can obviously see it as I type it. So ask yourself, as an employee, what will you want as an employee? Employees. So the first thing is we all want to get paid very nicely. Okay. So we all want to get paid fairly for our efforts. So let's say it nicely, we want to be fairly compensated for our efforts. And we and obviously the other thing is once. Yeah, so that's one thing. It's one concept, but you always want to be fairly compensated, and will want clean, safe working environments. Okay. So they want safe working environments, safe working conditions. The second thing that they may want is want an Well, obviously we want to be informed, and we want to be informed of any changes. Okay, and let's take a look from what they said earlier. So how do we make sure they paid well? What is it? And what do we call it? We call with many fringe benefits and the creation of, remember WPF stands for workplace forms that so guys, remember for this question, put yourself in the shoes of a employer. What do you want? You want to be paid fairly, you want to have a voice, you want to have a safe working conditions. So you've got to think as a thing, the same as a supplier. What's your first thing as a supplier? Pay me on time. Don't go and think, oh no, what is supplier? What am I taught about suppliers in the business studies textbook? All you want to be taught is, am I going to be paid on time? Put yourself in the shoes of an actual supplier. Are you happy if you are paid on time? Okay, if you're not paid, you're going to be the Helen. Okay. So make sure that you are thinking that way. Okay. Obviously, now let's do the same with customers. Okay, if you're a customer, what's the thing that you want? What are you buying? We are buying that. So they want a product that meets the demands and is sold at but what do customers want nowadays? Customers, excellent. They demand excellent customer service, and the needs are met in staff. So how do we make sure that we meet the needs of our staff? So let's ask the how question. So ShopRite constantly do market research to ensure that they are up. Surveys on the provide training to the various staff members to ensure customer service is of expected quality. Yeah. So do you see, answer the question twofold. Identify a problem and then tell me how to solve it. Okay, and the thing is of how. Okay, how are we up to date with the needs? We're through a survey. And they provide training to ensure customer service. You could say you might even go even deeper on what the customer service is about. Okay, but I'm going to go to the next question. Okay, but I'll obviously spend time with you if you want in class. But with these questions, as I said, you see with each one, you start with what's the issue? And we want to be fairly compensated. We want to have the best product. We want to have the best price. Put yourself in the shoes of a stakeholder. Okay, and you'll always find the right answer. Okay. And don't overthink it. Okay. Balanced scorecard. There are 4 perspectives. There's a customer perspective. Okay. So let's do that one. That's a nice one. Okay, there's a customer perspective, and there is also learning and growth, and there's also financial. I quite like the financial one, so I'm going to decide to do financial perspective. Yeah. So how can we use this to support its sustainability? Okay, so obviously sustainability is about two things. It is about people, planet, profit. Let's say, what can we link this one to? Okay, so let's say we can link customer to people. Okay, so what's the price of ever can ensure that they are catering to the needs of the communities and showing that the products cater specific. For example, so let's use an example. Okay, if they are in an area where impoverished, they ensure clothing Okay, so it's an example. So I'm trying to ask the question, how can this element be used? Okay, I'm using this price rather than, okay, but they're catering to the needs of communities and that the product catered to the various that might not be the best quality, but that are affordable. Do you see the customer perspective? What are we looking at? We're looking at who the customers are and sustainability, the communities we serve. So I'm bringing those two together. I'm talking about how I can make sure that by looking at the customer, the product that I'm offering is actually taking to their need. And if I was going to look at financial, which of the three P's links to financial? Okay, there's obviously profit. Um, so remember, we're talking now. Let's link two again. Finance. So what do we know about finance? We know all the ratios. You know the ratios. Use it. When we say which of the three P's can we link it to? We link it to profit. Okay, and we say, okay, cool. So people, planet, and okay, and we say, cool. So we need to make sure that all of the goods are, all of the ratios are in place, and then give an example. If you feel we're lacking a bit of substance, you can say, we need to increase our stock, we need to reduce our loans, we need to make sure that we are not too heavily reliant on stock, whatever. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are linking the two together. The other two is obviously learning and growth, and that you can link back to people. You say our own staff. We want to make sure that we look after our employees, that we offer them training, that we are looking after and continuously improving their own skill sets, whether it's the skill sets of our own people or the skill sets of the communities. Even you can say learning and growth is not only our own staff, but we can create training programs within rural townships or whatever. Okay, you link it back there. Okay, so with these ones, you don't have to be limited. You can really go full tilt and see what you can do with it. Okay, I think there's 4.6 and 4.7. That probably is, yeah. Okay, we've got two questions. Okay, so they say, discuss with the use of an example. So where does it start typing? Okay, it does stop there. Cool. Yeah, discuss with an example how a strategy would ensure its business success. So low costs. Okay, so when would we use low cost? Low cost is when we try and keep prices. And why are we trying to keep prices low? Is generally to try and kill competition. Okay. When ShopRite wants to reduce prices, so that's the key point. This is achieved by choosing closer or introduction to benefit from economies of scale. For example, choosing local butchers to supply meat and reduce travel costs to reduce prices. Okay, so tell me, why do you do it? First is you want to compete with the heavily competitive industry. They want to reduce prices. So there's your first mark. It can be done by choosing a close supplier. 2, or by increasing the production of goods to benefit from economies of scale. 3, for example, choosing local butchers to supply meat and reduce travel costs in order to reduce the prices. Okay, so you see, I've given an example. Please do not forget to give an example. Okay, whether it's butcher, whether it's meat, I'm using butcher now because of this year it was, but yours will obviously be clothing. You say we use nylon, I don't know what's more cheap, nylon or cotton, and it's useless in that regard. So, okay, but you can literally decide how you are going to approach that question. Okay, so backwards integration. So I'm going to go back to so backwards integration. So what is backwards integration? So you get to knock the name and buy our suppliers. ShopRite able to go exclusivity and reduce costs since the mark is reduced on goods. Okay, so I've given a quick definition of what it is. So now let's give an example. For example, when buying an orchard for Checkers liquor and providing the wine to our own stores and not the Tops brand. Yeah. But now I've given you two reasons why. One, it reduces the cost because it's not markup. Okay, and I've given you an example saying we are not supplying, we supply our own stores, we're no longer supporting Tops at Spar or whatever. Okay, so again, I'm giving them a good example and trying to get a good thing. Okay, so let's think product development. Product development refers to the process of developing a completely new product. Okay, one mark just for a good definition. So let's think. What are we looking at? Let's think. What has come out in the last 5 years? Let's think outside of the box a bit. From a ShopRite's perspective, for example, maybe let's say, for example, who can be sold within the business. In the clothing industry, it's a bit more interesting. So, for example, UV resistant clothing, that's product development. There's a new one that is clothing that is completely resistant to mosquitoes, for example. Any of these examples. Okay, give us real examples and we'll get to those 3 marks each quickly. Okay. Okay, so give us criteria that can be used to the sustainability strategy. Okay, so think again, for profit, how do we measure? You look at what is our profitability compared from this year to the next. So look at profit. People, you can do surveys in the community, see what the surveys and the community engagement is like. Is the community engagement going on? Planet, you can look at something like carbon emissions. What are the carbon emissions in 2023? What are the carbon emissions in 2024? Guys, with sustainability, link it back to the 3 Ps. You know the 3 Ps by now. Okay, and let me show you what they think. Okay, so for example, if you're on the CEO. Okay, so they've got no discriminatory, that they value the accident, okay, that their jobs and career, there are benefits that will keep them more happy. Okay, so you can see these answers are always a little bit different, but again, these are not the only answers. Okay. Okay, so there we go. How do we use Methoria? Why are we so things? Okay, they look at things, for example, supply chain and the product lifestyle. Okay, it's really it's an open question. This one we'd mark, but I would link it to the 3 Ps. So rather than trying to think about conformity, ask yourself, how do I measure profit? Look again at the ratios, look again at profitability, look at your financial statements. Okay, people, have a look at again, your surveys and criteria are the best to look at. Okay, so try and always link it back to those 3. Okay, if you can do that, it always becomes a lot easier. Okay, I hope this helped. It's question 4 done already. I will do question 5 and 6 tomorrow, and I'll chat with you as soon as I'm done. Okay, I hope that these will help you guys. Okay, question 4. It took us literally half an hour. Okay, we do half an hour, half an hour, half an hour. Okay, that's about where we need to be, and this is me talking us through it. Okay, so we're right on track in terms of time. Okay, thanks everyone.